All right, so when you're ready, let me know. We'll kick things off. We don't have Sino to introduce us today. So, guess you want to do it or you want me to do it?
You can do it. It's your podcast.
All right, let's get it done. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast Podcast. I'm your host, Ken, here with our wonderful co-host, the one and only It's Guess Gaming.
Yeah, that feels weird. You're waiting for the... I know the audience is waiting for the pause of like, the top five. No, unfortunately, he is now in 6th place at the moment because he got bumped down by Not My Dents, who was in 3rd place for a little while. So he got dropped down. He lost top 5. He's now 5 out of 6. But Cito cannot be here today, unfortunately, due to life and other reasons. Otherwise, he'd be joining us. But at the same time, we do have another co-host to introduce and bring on board for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love it. If you don't, you're about to. It's Prashaun. Prashaun, welcome on in, buddy. How you doing?
How's it going? I think this is probably like my 10th time on here, so I feel like
100th.
Give or take,
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome on back. So we got awesome things to talk about today. We're going to talk about the new season of Marvel Snap, of course. We're going to review Captain America, Sam Wilson, and the new Falcon. We're going to preview Thunderbolt Ross, because I really think that card is not going to be it, but Prashaun feels differently. We're going to preview Mastery and, of course, talk about Sanctum Sanctorum, the things that we saw in the Spotlight, the dev video. So we're going to talk about those as well. And, of course, we're going to have Prashaun tell you guys what it's about him, how he came about Marvel and comics, etc. And then we'll dive into the awesome Spotlight video that just was released on Captain America, Sam Wilson. So kick things off, of course, the new season, of course, The Brave New World. We have that movie coming out next week. Makes sense that Marvel Snap went and spotlight that particular set of cards. So we do have Captain America, Sam Wilson, and Falcon coming out this week, or came out this week, I should say. Was able to play with both cards. Had a good time with it. It's a very different, unique card when it comes to Captain America, Sam Wilson. I think it's fun. A lot of people were expecting more, I guess. They were expecting more something, more style, more flash, whatever the case is. Yeah. But nonetheless, I had a blast with it. It definitely goes in certain types of decks. And my take on Cap is definitely a double gold for me. Guess, how do you feel about this card?
Wow, I'm surprised double gold. That's normally pretty low for you.
No, like double gold for me. But listen, definitely double gold. I enjoy the card. I like the synergy with the shield. I like the synergy with move. I like it. You put in a move bounce deck. But if I have to give it a platinum or higher, it had to have higher stats. Sorry, I don't know what was going on there.
I don't know, but we just freaked out the entire audience because they're going to replace their fire alarm or they're about to run out of the building because that was their fire alarm. So we've just caused a nationwide panic here on the podcast. Good job.
Alarm batteries. PSA.
Yeah, PSA. Exactly.
There you go. PSA. Check your batteries, ladies and gentlemen.
But like Sam Wilson, I was pleasantly surprised with how easy he was to use. And I mean that in the sense of this is a very new user-friendly season pass, because the two decks that it really wants to, at least in my opinion, the two decks that it wants to be a part of more than anything else is some variation of Zoo, Patriot type level stuff. Something along those lines where you're benefiting the 1-cost cards in some capacity. Khazar, Marvel Boy, Blue Marvel, that kind of stuff. Patriot as well, possibly, depending on the build. Or ongoing, where you've got 2 ongoing cards for the price of 1, essentially. And Spectrum loves that. And we've talked about it here before. If you're a brand new player, ongoing is the deck you should be playing. It is the most consistent new deck, new player deck in Series 1 and even into pretty far into Series 2 as well, before Move starts to dominate a little bit differently. Even in Move, though, it was good. It felt good to be able to ramp up the Kraven with the shield, but I always felt like it was completely unnecessary. Like, I'm putting it here because sure, I have the synergy to make this work, but it's not a necessary piece to make this work. Like,
Correct.
it happens to be there. That's the better way to put it. It happens to be there in those decks. Right. I had my most success with it was a American Patriot deck, which was like, you know, playing onto Ultron and the options of where do you use Moonstone with Dazzler and Patriot and Blue Marvel and all these other, you know, ongoing cards. It just felt very smooth there because it gave me flexibility, and being able to move a card every turn as soon as Sam Wilson's down is very, very strong. So I was a big fan of it. I'm a little higher than you on it. I would put this at platinum. Okay. I put it at platinum specifically because it is so approachable for so many players right now.
Fair. Prashaun, how do you feel about the card?
I feel like it's an okay card. I feel like it changed the game a snap a little bit because the last OTA or patch we had at game start added to the game. Yeah. So I feel like that's an element that's going to be brought into the game more into the future of Marvel Snap, which I think is pretty cool. But I feel like the card is sort of restrictive at times, where if you don't have Sam Wilson on the board, you can't move that shield, and you feel like you should move the shield whenever. I feel like maybe the card would be OP if you could move the shield every turn, no matter what. But that's the only thing that's restrictive. So I feel like I'm forced to play it in ongoing decks more than in a move bounce deck.
Interesting. Okay.
Overall, I did reach infinite pretty quickly with it. I did have to like switch to like some Doom shenanigans later on, like when I was in like the 90s. But overall, it's a solid card. I always say get the season pass card because it's gonna be meta. Because everyone's gonna play it at least for the next few weeks. Compared to the other card we're going to be talking about soon. I think this is what's after gold platinum. I think it's a platinum card. Like the fact that this brings back ongoing, because ongoing was lost a little bit, even though ongoing was in a few months ago with Madam Web. Now it's back. Like you're sort of forced to play cards like luckily Madam Web is ongoing too. Like I've had a lot of people say like, does this card feel restrictive? Because if you don't have Sam Wilson, you can't move that shield, so you have to play Madam Web. But luckily, she's ongoing, so you could play Spectrum, and you have like Moonstone. You have Ravonna to play too, and which is awesome with Mr. Fantastic because he recently got changed. So there's so much stuff you could do, and then even with Captain Marvel, I think you could do not Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. You could do some weird stuff too because you could move things around, which makes this a very good card. You can do so much stuff. It's just that like we're stuck in this weird, like this is the infinite deck, so we all have to play it. So luckily when the season like is more prolonged, we'll see more cool cooks. And I'm looking forward to it. So I think it's a decent card.
Yeah. All right, perfect. Listen, I love it. You guys are right. Platinum, double gold on my end. It basically gives you 13 cards, right? A 13 card deck, right? Because that shield is on the field. And you still got your 12 cards. And like you said, it's very strong and ongoing. I loved it in move bounce. And Khazar, you can play with the Khazar, the Zoo. It's definitely something fun to see. But currently right now in the meta, that's all you're seeing is the ongoings. You're seeing the counter decks without Enchantress, right? Everybody's playing Red Guardian instead, which makes sense, right? Go ahead and turn off that shield. So definitely enjoy it. I'm happy the card is out. I had a blast playing with it. So now the other card that came out with it. Let's talk about that card. Joaquin, how you pronounce that word? Joaquin Torres?
You're good.
You're
good. Joaquin.
Yeah, I was right. Joaquin. There we go. All right, perfect. So Mr. Torres, aka the new Falcon, he's an ongoing. The unrevealabilities of your one-cost cards here happen twice. So in layman terms, this is a Wong for your one-cost unreveal cards, which makes sense. I've had success in bounce move with it. I think that's the best home for Torres, and for me, it's definitely a silver card in my eyes. Other than that, I see if the card was a 2-cost, it'd probably be too strong, right? So it's very weird because it's like it's just costs too much and it doesn't have enough power. I know Data Mine, this was a 3-2 before it came out, and they gave it that extra power buff. Makes sense now. But maybe a 3-4. Wait, is it a 3-4 now? No, it's a 3-3, right?
3-4.
Yeah. Is it 3-4 now?
Yep.
So it was Data Mine at 3-3 and they made it 3-4. Okay,
Right.
yeah, they need to make that a little bit stronger. Maybe a 3-5 will probably put it up higher than what it is now. Nonetheless, I gave it a silver. How do you feel about it? We'll go with Prashaun this time.
I think to me, it's probably below silver. What's that, bronze? Like, this is a card
plastic.
I've avoided.
Yeah.
It feels awkward. Like, it's sort of like how Ravonna was when she first came out, when she was like, what, a 3 when she first came out. Like, it's just awkward, especially with one cost. Like, the only one cost I feel is major in the game in that scenario, like Yondu, maybe Iceman could do some stuff. Like, no one plays Mantis, no one plays Electra. Like, I feel it's trying to bring one cost back, but it's too late. Like, we only have 6 turns in the game, sometimes 7 with Magic. So it doesn't really, I don't think you're swaying the game as much that late in the game with this card. And then what do you, like, turn 4 or 5, you're going to play more 1-drops, and then you're going to try to like bounce them back and then do it again. Like, it just feels like too much work, especially when there's decks that can do so much without doing so much work. Especially at Move too. Like, there's games you play against Move and they do all this work to move things around, and you just play Infinite and you just win the location. Or you play Killmonger and kill all their one costs. Like, they have this huge Human Torch, and you're like, all right, that Human Torch could get as big as he wants. It's just going to be obliterated. So I feel like with those move bounce decks and with him, it's just doing too much for nothing.
Okay, fair. Guess, how do you feel about Joaquin Torres?
This deck screams Lambie, right? This card and the deck that it is most successful in. This is where we need Lambie series to come out of snap retirement and just absolutely ruin people to show the strength of this card. Because I tried a couple of, cheeky builds, move bounce being one of them. I didn't feel like it was very successful. I tried some weird shenanigans with, trying to get Hood with like some extra power on top, kind of like a Cerebro 6-ish type of influence. And I in the first day of testing it, I was kind of like, this is not good. But what's probably going to happen is that if you're a top Infinite player, like top 50%, you're going to want this card because it gives Black Swan a reason to be played, which is insane because I never thought I'd ever say that sentence. But the bounce shenanigans that happen because of Joaquin Torres, the biggest threat, I got wrecked by it the other day. I heavily underestimated the value of what he represents on the board. And that specific piece now makes me look at him differently than I did. When I first played him, I thought the same thing. He was an absolutely plastic card. But the second he's on the board, that lane is a whole different lane to have to target now, because the number one cards that people are playing there are Rocket Raccoon, Silver Sable, Hawkeye, right? And just those 3 as being something of danger. If that lane is going to go crazy tall, the second you see that, you need to start avoiding that lane. And the threat of that card now doing that, that's the power of Joaquin Torres, is he tells you, hey, listen, by turn 3, I'm competing for this lane. This is going to be my lane. You cannot touch this lane. I will have double shenanigans happening every single time. And when you start targeting it that way, it does change how you look at Joaquin Torres. But I'll only suggest him to the community if you like bounce decks. If you don't like bounce decks, I don't think he's the card for you, and it's a good time to save on some resources. But if you like the complicated build, the move build, those like tiered and layered decks, then he's going to be a good card for you. But for me, If you're not playing specifically bounce, I'm on Prashaun's side. It's a plastic card in every other capacity. But in bounce in particular, he is definitely at least double gold, maybe even heading into platinum or higher, because he commands the board in that deck.
Okay, listen, I guess I give him silver, and yes, I played him in move bounce. I played him in regular bounce. I even played him in mill bounce with the Yondu, right? Because you just Yondu, bring him back with the other Falcon, Yondu, and Silver Sable, and all the other madness, Iceman, and yeah. So listen, it has its place, but overall, it's only best in those decks. Everything else, like we said, doesn't make sense. So I get it. We're at silver plastic. I totally agree. We're on the same page for that. You guys, let us know down below how you feel about Joaquin Torres. Did you guys get him? And what are you guys rating him? Then we go on to next week's cards. We're going to preview next week's card because when I brought this up last night in the meeting with the team, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, TTR. When your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 power or more. Now, everybody would always assume, Tech, pull your Infinite. Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, listen, to me, Ross, Bruce Banner go in the same boat for me. Now, I did say this to Sino, and he told me not to say it out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. He's probably best in the Arishem deck. I think that probably is best home for him. Yep. Other than that, I don't see... Okay, we know Surtur. We know all those other things, but I'm not going to dive into that too much. I'm going to let Prashaun and guests say their piece. For me, preview-wise, because we haven't played him yet, I'm definitely going with a silver on this card. Him and Joaquin Torres in the same boat for me. And I gave Bruce Banner a gold, so... Prashaun, how you feel about that? He is Thunderbolt Ross.
I think he's a decent card. He goes into more decks. Like, there's some old decks that you could put him in, like the old She-Not decks. Like, that could go pretty well. Even putting in Magic turn 7, it gives you even more time to get those big cards. You could put this even with War Machine, like more time to get big cards that you need. You can pull that Infinite, slam them on the board where you can win locations. So I feel like this is a decent card. It's not like how Bruce Banner was, where you just set it and like he might not go off. This card actually has some promise. You have like 3 or 4 turns just to pull the big cards that you need. And then if you're playing, you can even play High Evo too. You could put Thunderbolt in this deck too. Like I feel like it's a pretty decent card.
But wait, make sure we understand this though. You know, your opponent have to have unspent energy. So it's like you're going to need to partner this card with cards like Luna Snow and other things, right? Because that's my only problem with this card. Unlike Bruce, it's really up to us to say, hey, I'm going to skip a turn. Hopefully he procs. Thaddeus, you got to hope your opponent's not playing on curve or they have extra energy they're not spending. So that's why I think it's a bit tougher. But nonetheless, guess
there's
your
even
take.
Weird decks out there where you throw Electro over there with Viper. Like,
you know what?
That could happen.
You know what? That's fair. That is fair.
Add on 2 and then Electro 3 and then throw the Electro over and then
that's fair.
No, but that doesn't work though, because you have the extra energy, but you just yeet over the ongoing 1 card per turn.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So the extra energy won't affect your opponent.
You keep the extra energy. Okay, you keep the extra energy.
Yeah.
But they're more.
But you force your opponent. But you force your opponent to pick one card. So I get it.
Yeah. So hopefully they don't spend the energy.
Right. I mean, yeah, or they don't have enough. I mean, either way, yeah, I think giving your opponent the extra energy with Luna might be one of the best routes. And that's what I'm going to try him out in. But nonetheless, how do you feel? What's your preview score for him right now?
I think he's a gold card. I think if you're a new player and you want to play these big decks, and then we have more big cards in the future, like Starbrand, I think it's going to fit well if you want to play those big decks, because the decks are just going to get bigger and bigger as Marvel Snap progresses, and you want to put those cards on the board.
Okay. Maybe a Dracula deck too. Guess, how do you feel, buddy? What's your take?
So I've really been wanting to make this card work. So I think I've been thinking about it, trying to get out of the mindset of what the card makes you want to do. which is think, okay, it's got to be a 10 power. It's got to be, okay, clearly this is of that season. So you're thinking Red Hulk, right? And that's where your brain just essentially goes. But it's just any 10 or more power card. And the best synergy I could think of is the weirdest home that I know you're not thinking of. And that's Destroy. Because Destroy is a deck that runs all cards that are underneath 10, except for Death. And Death is getting reduced down anyway. How often does it happen that you don't get your Death in your hand? So it does two things. Number one, if they do that, it draws it out of the deck. It's deck thinning. And then number two, there's always this one flex spot in Destroy decks. Some people play Agony and Deadpool Destroy. Some people play Hulkbuster. I'd be curious to see how it, Frigga. I'd be curious to see how it goes with a little bit more consistency by removing the power-up card, but allowing the control of, look, you're going to give me Death no matter what if you float an energy. So getting that down on turn 2, which typically it's very rare that you get your Deadpool into Carnage line as the line that you'd want to open with anyway. Putting this down on 2 now has relevance. So I was trying to think of that kind of stuff. Like I was thinking of discard, right? Helicarrier discard. Getting Helicarrier in your hand is obviously an ideal situation to have if you're playing the collector line, because the same thing with that deck. Most of that deck is under 10 power, including Apocalypse. But if you can pull out the Helicarrier, it's a guaranteed discard thing, make the thing tap. That's how I think we need to be thinking about this card, because sure, it goes in Arishem. Duh. Just whatever 10 power card you get, it comes out of the deck. Yeah. But right. I feel like there are these random little homes, like even Hela. It makes it, I don't want it to be true, but it's true. You can build a Hela deck that has Death and Black Cat as the only high power cards, and putting that down on 2, especially if Black Cat gets drawn, it automatically gets drawn and then discarded. So it's like, it's a win-win scenario in that type of situation too. So I think it's going to take a little bit more tinkering, but I want to open the community's mind to not just saying this is an Arishem card or this is a Red Hulk card or a Surtur card, because I mean, it's a Surtur card, definitely.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's where most people are probably going to start with him. I challenge going another step further and think about decks that currently exist that this would then be beneficial of, because I really do think Destroy, oddly, because of that Death synergy, is something a little bit out of the box that also gives him a purpose to be on the board and then just get rid of him and not have any worry about him anymore. He's fodder.
The only issue is if you get Death in your hand, then he's worthless at that point.
And then he's fodder at that point.
Yeah.
He's a two cost a 2 cost card to destroy.
I like him more in the discard side of it, because you think of Dracula getting the big card out, whether it be Infinite, right? And you just continue doing your discard thing, and then all right, they skipped the turn, and here comes the Infinite. Dracula's food is waiting for him. You know what I mean? So I kind of like that. Mm-hmm. I like that. Thinking outside the box, guys.
Yeah.
Just don't put him in Arishem, please. Yeah. I mean, you should, but don't.
See, now you got me going Black Knight. Black Knight, that would actually be really good. Drac Dump.
Yes.
Drac Dump. That's the big piece.
That's the way I would try it first. But let's see how it goes. So what's your preview rating? Gold?
I'm gonna go a little higher, because I do think he's gonna end up being like a double gold, but not day one. Okay. It's gonna take the full week for us to really sit on him and then say, okay, this is his best home, and it's not Surtur.
Yeah, pause all the way on that one. Okay.
I did.
I'm not sitting on him at all. So just making sure you said sit on.
I paused intentionally. I know what I'm doing.
Okay, just making sure we're on the same page. Yeah. All right, so so we'll see what happens, guys. The car comes out next week. Make sure you come check out myself, guests, and Prashaun's streams as we play this car, test it out before you guys win. Go and spend your precious tokens and your precious keys. Just stand by, watch our stream. Guest is the master of morning sacks. Prashaun is also the golden goose in the mid-morning, and I'm the late night STG. So make sure you guys come hang out with us and watch us either crash and burn with this card. All right. Then, of course, next on the list, we have Character Mastery coming out and Sanctum Sanctorum all next week. Character Mastery's first, and I believe Sanctum Sanctorum is later in the end of the week, or they're both on the same day? No.
No, they're the 11th and 18th for the two. Yeah.
All right, so weekend and the week after. Nonetheless, we're finally excited, guys. This is something we've been waiting for the longest. Character Mastery we've talked about since they talked about first badges, right? First whatever badges from way back when.
Yeah.
Me being a collector of all awesome things here, I've been dying for Character Mastery to give that difference, that style of our cards. So, we all don't have the same goal split or the same God split. So I'm super pumped, super happy based on the wonderful video we saw in the dev video of them showcasing all the cool things we can have. This definitely to me is like a double diamond. First double diamond ever you guys are hearing here. Character Mastery double diamond. I'm pumped. I'm stoked to be able to go ahead and see if all my collections actually pay off by making sure majority of my cards are already at the highest level. So before we get more into it, Prashaun, seeing the video from the dev roadmap of the dev video, seeing Character Mastery, reading the blogs. How do you feel about Character Mastery?
I don't care.
To be honest, hold on. Right? Before you continue, ladies and gentlemen, those who are listening, those who are watching, Prashaun collects comic books. Prashaun has rated comic books all over his social media.
Yep.
This gentleman who says he doesn't care about Character Mastery collects collectible comic books and get them rated, mind you. But he doesn't care about Character Mastery. Okay, please continue now.
So, my goals in Marvel Snap were to split cards so I could move up my collection level so I could get another card.
Okay.
That was always my goal until SnapCon, when everyone showed me splits, and then I didn't even know what a God split was. I didn't even know you could split a card and make it do that, because that wasn't my goal. I basically went for the lowest card, split it, move up. And then that's technically my goal now, is split whatever cards I can so I could get more keys, so I could get the newest card. So my priority in Snap is keep on moving collection level, get keys, get new card. Not bling bling because it's on a small screen on my phone or it's on the computer. I might say cool to someone or post it on Twitter, but that's pretty much it for me. If there's a way you could get a new card out of it, or if you split it in a way where it has a new ability or secret ability or something, I think that would be cool. But besides that, it's just more cosmetics.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I like that though. Split in a way that you get other abilities. That'd be pretty cool. You do get the ability or the chance to get, I think, even emojis, right? So that's something to think about if you like emojis. Okay, all right. Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to hear your takes down in the comments below. Let us know. Are you feeling the same way Prashaun is feeling? Is this a mode or a add-on that you don't care about because you don't care about how pretty your card look? You just want to play the game.
Give us the card. Give us the cards.
All right, guess.
We all want.
What's your take on Character Mastery?
So I think that this is going to bring people into Marvel Snap in a different way, right? So we look at I'll use a comparison with Pokemon Pocket. Pokemon Pocket's, got a lot of revere right now. It's a lot of fun gameplay, but it's not very visually, pleasing, the flaring system that you have on their cards where you burn cards to get the cosmetic things. The game board and the coin, that's what people collect. And that kind of stuff, card sleeves, etc. That's what people want. And people really try hard for that kind of stuff. They specifically say, I can't wait for that coin to come out. Not, I can't wait for that card or that version of Jigglypuff to come on out because of the artwork. Or I can't wait to split this Jigglypuff. It's just a whole nother artistic perspective versus the culture of Marvel Snap, where it is, it has been the message, I should say, of Marvel Snap since inception, that making your collection unique is the number one goal. And they have reiterated that. I have put Second Dinner on blast because of that, because there were, when albums came on out, I was saying, how is it making your collection unique when everybody has the same variants? Because you're forcing us to collect all of these variants if this is the specific other thing that we want. We want the emote, but now we all have the same Venom because we had to target it, like that kind of stuff. We've gone through the good and the bad of the collection. Based on what we see in the dev video, this looks like the opportunity for them to finally say, no, really, you can have a completely individual, unique collection in a variety of different ways. And it's cool how you unlock different things. I saw the caches, like it's very cool, the system. So I'm curious to see the barometer, which is you, Tech, for character mastery, right? How easy is it to master a card, right? How difficult is the XP to obtain? How crazy do you have to play the game, or do you have to play the game or invest into the game ridiculously to get the card that you want? How difficult is it to get the specific new flair or new finish or whatever? That's what I want to see in character mastery more than anything else, is for the free to play player or the Prashaun who does not care how invested they are into the actual cards themselves. What effect does that have on their gameplay experience? Because it's also going to do something else. Like Prashaun, you just want to play the decks, because you want to have the cards, but you also now need to be able to look at somebody else's variants that you used to only know in 4 formats, gold, inked, prism, and foil. Yeah, that's it. But now there's all of there's fucking bananas. Like, just bananas. Like, you have to look past the bananas to tell what the card is sometimes, so it could have a gameplay effect in that aspect too. Remember, not to circle back again, apparently this is Lambie's stream, but that was a strategy of Lambie with his Thanos decks. Back in the day, he would only play an inked Thanos deck because you'd have to really focus on the opponent's board. Yeah, to tell what stone it was. So confusing your opponent by having a confusing looking deck is now potentially a thing to look at. So I think that a lot of people are going to spend a lot of time in character mastery for the character that they want. But I think more people will spend more time on their favorite decks, reinvesting into, okay, this card is split to this. Oh, I can build this new split now. Maybe I can build this deck to be all this, or what. I do think it's going to bring a lot more of that, more so than what Alliances did. I think this will do better for the game than Alliances did.
Okay. I mean, I hear that. I believe so too. I hope that, I really hope at some point they allow us to make our own albums and be able to showcase these cards, right? So we're getting these new character masteries now. You want to be able to showcase it, right? So just like how Pokemon Pocket has their little, showcase of your favorite looking card, it would be great if Snap allowed that. We already have an album section, just split it in half to give us our own albums. So when people click on our names, they can actually look at our albums. But it's going to have to be a way, probably only your Alliance, because unless you're playing, so I just want to be able to give us that so we can actually share our album and show it to the masses. All right. And then, of course, we had Sanctum Sanctorum, which, Sanctum Showdown.
There you go.
Sanctum Showdown, which is a new game mode, just like how High Voltage and Deadpool Diner is, just a little bit different, or completely different, I should say. Deadpool Diner was something that was fun when it came out. High Voltage is always a blast when we see it. And now this is supposed to take it to the next level. And based on the videos that we saw, you have to get 16 energy or power points. So it could go from a couple of rounds to 10 rounds. First person to get to 16 wins. And I think it's very cool. Different mechanic, which I kind of like. I really wish we could take this and make tournaments out of it, because that would also be fun. But I really like that kind of a style of play. It's something different, something unique. And I think shout out to all our content creators and new people who want to be content creators. This is another new set of things you can make content from, just sitting there with your chat, trying to figure out where you should play, where the points moving to, and, you know, doing cool things. And I really am excited for this as well. I'm definitely giving this a platinum in the preview until we actually get our hands on it, because the rewards look epic based on the blogs and the Discord. People come into my chat saying free-to-play players can get 3 to 4 cards, where paid players can get 7. I think that's a fair number. That was a question that was asking me, Tech, is that a fair number? And I think so. If you can get more than half of the cards for free, then I think it's definitely fair. So free-to-play players get 3 to 4. Paid players or people who invest anything into it will get at least all 7.
Whoa.
Yeah, let me hear it. Let me hear what you're telling me.
If you look at the video and you look at the shop,
yeah,
the gameplay on it, like being able to get the points, it's not a matter of free to play or pay to play. It's a matter of time invested into it. You can be completely free to play and get all 7 cards, which is the 3 from the event and the 4 unowned Series 4 or 5 cards. Is fully free to play.
Okay, because somebody came in my chat and said somebody second gen responded to them and said that free to play can only get 3 to 4. But nonetheless, I should have fact checked it. I did not. I'm going based on what they said to me, and I assumed that what they said was accurate. So if you guys heard it here first, the second gen employee of the year and the month currently of 2025 is confirming that free to play players can get all 7 if you spend all of your time playing this mode. So my advice to you guys is go infinite right now and then focus on this mode when it comes out on the 18th. Prashaun, how do you feel about Sanctum Showdown?
This is something I like. Free cards, new game mode, because I'm already infinite. You get bored until like the last week of Conquest. That way you get bored. So this is something to kill time in between instead of playing other games. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool. And then we get some cards that we never thought were going to see the light of day. Like we never thought Uncle Ben was going to come out.
I know.
And then like Oregon, like where was he like a year ago?
Facts.
Like this was stuff Loki a long time
ago. Yeah.
Nerfing Loki down. You just put out one card and he would have solved so many different problems. But he solves the Airsham problem now. So it's pretty cool to see all these cards finally come to light, because we never thought they were. Because like if you look at seasons that are coming out in the future, like they just don't fit. So finding a game mode to have those cards fit into
is a good point.
Awesome vehicle. And then the fact, like free to play, if you're free to play, you could get even more cards. That's awesome. That's a win-win. So Marvel Snap is definitely going in the right direction with this game mode.
I love it. So yeah, good point. Good.
Diamond or whatever.
Yeah, Diamond it is. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Diamond. No, good point. Good point to mention. I didn't even think about. You're right. These cards have no place, no home to be in for the seasons. It's a great place to put them in. I'm about to say, where's Firestar? That's the only card that we're missing, right?
I think so. Mephisto.
Oh, yeah, Mephisto too.
Yeah.
You guys remember when Gore the God Butcher was data mined as to destroy all 6 cost cards wherever they were?
I do.
Oh my gosh. Good times. I guess how do you feel about
Doxy? There's a few more.
Yeah, there's a few more. Yeah. Guess how do you feel about Sanctum Showdown?
As I guess the 3 of us specifically, we look at it a little differently because we are collection complete. So looking at it from a personal point of view versus from a content creator's point of view. From a personal point of view, I'm excited to get 3 new cards to, continue the collection. That seems, for a 2-week game mode, that each game is basically as long as a regular game. Some games will be shorter, some games will be longer. Like, the devs have been saying, somewhere between 5 and 7 turns is the average game. It's very rare that you have a longer than 7 turn game. So I'm like, all right, that's a good thing. We don't want longer game modes like Conquest.
No.
We want all of the short game modes like high voltage, or don't make it longer, than a standard ranked match. That's fair. I think that this is gonna bring to the game what I'm trying to remember the name. It was the season where we had X-Men versus Avengers.
Oh yeah, that was a great season.
Power couples.
Yeah. It was like not the power couples. It was which is another one.
Valentine's.
Yeah, that was Valentine's little promo, but similar ideas, right? What it's going to do though, is this list of cards. It's going to make you want to think about deck building differently. Just like high voltage did. It makes you think about deck building differently. It's not just build this destroy deck. No.
Right.
This is, you have to think about lane control. You have to think about, is it worth it for me to plop the power down? This is turn 5. I was going to play it here on the left, but now I have to play it mid to compete, because if they get these 4 points, they win. So like the strategy of the game is completely different now too. And that'll change deck building, and that'll get people's, creative juices flowing of like, okay, well, I need a certain amount of like straight up power, things like Gladiator and Hydra Bob. But then at the same time, other cards that go wide might also be really good, like Doctor Doom and Mr. Fantastic, Ms. Marvel. Like, how combo decks are now not going to be good. Just like in high voltage, combo decks weren't good. Same here, because you don't want to pick up 4 cards because Falcon says, here, put them back into your hand, because you're targeting one turn. This is every turn you need things on the board. Like cards like Vision are going to be very valuable. Very valuable. Yeah, Madam Web, very valuable.
Jeff, Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff comes back, guys. Yeah. Jeff is back.
Like,
it's gonna be good stuff.
It's gonna be cool to see how people make decks to play this game mode, and in comparison to ranked, what the reaction is. Because I'd like to think safely, keyword, I'd like to think that Second Dinner has learned from the second iteration of Deadpool Diner and will not make all the same mistakes again.
Yeah, I believe so. And Second Dinner Employee of the Month so far, I'm sure. Even though
he's definitely filled up their suggestion box.
Yeah, I'm sure. As I'm saying, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they're not trying to do it again. So we're good there. So guys, Character Mastery comes out on the 11th. Make sure you guys, again, come hang out in our streams, check it out. These guys are going to be great, but Prashaun won't care anyway. My stream, however, is going to be probably 24 hours of non-gameplay, guys. We're not playing a game when Character Mastery come out. We're going to look at every card and check out every split, everything we can do. So be prepared to come by. I might even make a whole new layout just to look at the cards and the splits.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, doesn't make sense to play any games next week, Tuesday. Even though Thunderbolt Ross comes out, you know what? Hang out to these guys' chat, because I'm just going to be looking at Character Mastery nonstop. So that's going to be a fun time. I cannot wait for that. And then, of course, this is the month of Black History. Of course, we want to spotlight some of our awesome Black content creators in the space. And, of course, on Power On Gaming, we have one of our Power On Gaming members, Prashaun, who is, of course, melanated and African descent. So we want to make sure we spotlight him and talk about him, what brought him into Marvel, the universe, comics, whether it be DC or Marvel, and of course, give a little bit more about himself, so you guys can get a kind of look into him and where to find him and everything else. So, Prashaun, the floor is yours, buddy. How did you get into comics?
How did I get into Snap or
everything?
My dad was a collector, so my grandpa owned a bodega or grocery store in New York. So my dad
Grandpa Yugi,
comics or whatever. So he collected as a kid, and as I was born, I saw his stuff around, so I got into it. So collecting has been in my blood the whole time. So I've collected comic books, sneakers, Pokemon cards, like anything I could collect as a kid, like I will collect. So, and then even now I go to the comic book shop every Wednesday. Like I hang out, me and Chad, the owner, talk for like an hour or so, and I go back home. So that's what brought me into Snap. Like I always wanted to create content, so I tried a sneaker channel, but I realized that was super expensive. Because you have to buy a shoe
yes.
for like $200, make a video on it, and then if you don't know how to edit or anything like that, you have to get like an editor and all that. So it was a very expensive hobby, even though like I know I have friends that own sneaker stores, so I didn't have to worry about buying the shoe, but it was just a pain in the A. And I thought I wanted to be like a Disney vlogger. So like I tried that for like 1 or 2 videos, and then the pandemic happened and we canceled our Disney passes. So that dream went away. And then the crazy thing is, like, I was making a series called Gone in 60 Seconds, where I would just like record 60 seconds of like a video and then like post it. So this was like way before like shorts and all that, but I guess horizontal, not vertical. So yeah, and then Marvel Snap. Like I really like the game. I think I saw the trailer at like was it like an E3? Was E3 still a thing?
Yeah, it was like E3. Yeah, I believe so. I
saw the trailer for it, and then I forgot about it. And then I was just sitting around, and I was like, "What happened to that game? I saw a trailer for it. What was it called? It was Marvel Snap." So I went onto Google. I went onto YouTube. I saw that it was in a beta, but like I wasn't able to sign up for it. So I think I stumbled on like TLSG's video, and then it showed you how to download BlueStacks and play the game. So I downloaded it, played the game. And then I watched, I think I watched everyone's content I could consume. And then I think like you could upload your stats on snap.fan. So I noticed on snap.fan, like I was better than most. Like I was up there with the Human Spider, KM Best, like all those guys. I think I had better stats than Jeff Hoagland and like even TLSG. Like I was like, I'm better than these guys, like technically. I was like, they're making content, like, so why not? I can make content, I guess. So that's what made me get into content. I didn't even know what OBS was. Like I didn't know any of that. Like I think my first videos were all recorded in Twitch Studio. So that's what got me into Twitch. So like I wasn't even going, I was like, let me press the live button. Like whenever I record my Snap videos. So like I would just like go live for like 30 minutes. I'd probably have like 1 or 2 people watch me. And then once I was done recording, I would just upload it to YouTube. So that's how I got started into Snap and content creation. And then once, I think I streamed one day, and one of my followers, Paul, he said, go to SnapCon, it's in Tampa. And I was like, all right, I'll go to SnapCon. And then I went to SnapCon. I met all you guys. I learned what OBS was. Yeah. So like I got partnered with Drewski. He made me a better overlay instead of me going on Fiverr and telling them to make me this. And then I was going to school at the time because I graduated last May. And then I ended up taking like Adobe classes too. So like I started to learn how to edit more and refine my craft too. Because I like making videos compared to streaming, because I feel like my hands are in it. Like I could make it, and then it's evergreen content. Like there's there's always a good feeling when you made a video like a year ago and you thought it sucked, and then like a year later it's cool again, and then you get views. So it's always a good feeling. So yeah, so that's basically me. And then like collecting stuff like comics, I get them graded. Cards, I get them graded. I have way too many hobbies. I play Lorcana, I play Snap, I play Rivals, I played all different games. Like too much stuff. Like I play like I wish I had enough time in the day, or like more money that I could just like record and have everyone like edit my stuff. That way I could just like put out content 24/7. So
right. That's awesome. Listen, I ain't know majority of that story, so I'm glad to hear that. You guys heard it here for the first time, just like me. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I mean, moral of the story is, guys, if you want to get into content creation, just do it, right? Just
hit record.
Yeah, for sure. Like that was the thing. Everyone else is doing it. Like I could.
Yeah.
I think I could. So.
I'm with you on that, man. Same way I felt. So, like I said, I saw Binks and Molt do it, and I was like, they're having a blast. Why can't I do it? And same thing. I ain't know about OBS at all either, bro. I was about to spend $500 on a YOLO box to do this shit. I didn't know
Oh my God.
anything about any of that stuff. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was luckily I saw something about OBS the day before I met with this person to buy this YOLO box. It was crazy. But,
yeah, like I saw OBS and I was like, "What the heck is this?" Like,
yeah,
this is
I had no idea.
I don't know how to use this. Like,
it's so crazy, so crazy. But thanks for sharing that with us. I really appreciate that, guys. If you want to check out Prashaun, as you should, we'll have a link to all his stuff down below. Of course, it's Prashaun on all platforms. Go ahead and check it out. You won't be disappointed, I promise you.
Yeah, I try.
And speaking of Prashaun and all the awesome content out there, I was given the honor, and of course, for Black History Month, being able to spotlight the newest card, the new Battle Pass card, which is, of course, is Sam Wilson's Captain America. So I was able to make this video, and it came out today as it's recording. We'll leave a link to it down below as well. I wanted to share my insight on it and recording and making it. So Prashaun, the week before, put out a video. I don't know if he did. I think a Captain America video. The whole season. He was previewing the season with that same background behind him, and he did it just like that with the green screen and everything. And I was like, that looks cool. I want to do that too now. So sure, I told Prashaun I'm making a video and I'm going to make stuff fly in and stuff. So definitely he was my inspiration to make the video I made. And when you guys see it, you know what I'm talking about. I did add some other backgrounds and stuff to it, did some other cool things, but it did not get approved. So I had to remove those wonderful items and put a plain backdrop, as you guys will see in the videos down below. Maybe one day we will show you guys the other video that wasn't approved. But for now, check out the one that was approved.
Just put it on your channel. Just put it on your channel.
That's true. That's true. Put it on my channel. Why not? But for now, the video is approved. The one you guys will see is on the official Marvel Snap channel. And it's always a good time being able to spotlight videos for the community, especially for the game that we do enjoy playing. So it was an honor for me to be able to put this new card out and have a blast with it. I was able to play all these awesome lists with it. Definitely enjoy the mechanic of the shield. I do wish the shield had another ability, which is like, protecting the cards in that lane or something to that effect, right? Like that would have been OP.
That would have been OP.
Yeah. Maybe protect all the one-cost cards in that lane or something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess it would be OP, but why not? I mean, we got shield. Oh, I guess a shield that moves lanes. Oh my goodness, that would be OP, but that'd be fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? That would be fun.
A move.
Yeah. I mean, armor. Sorry, armor. I mean, right? Yeah, armor that moves lanes. Right. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be awesome. We'll see what happens. Nonetheless, I had a blast making it. This is my third one, so as Prashaun mentioned, people might feel away, but I mean, listen, you gotta ask.
You got every February or no? You got three black characters, so
yes, there we go, 3 black characters. All right, so you guys already know. But it is what it is. I don't think it's just because it's black characters. It's just because it's special characters, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
War Machine and Captain Falcon, I definitely wanted to do. I asked for those. Ravonna, I was given, because I think at that time they were giving every content creator their chance to do a video. So War Machine, because of Infinite, I just wanted to have War Machine because I love Infinite, and that was just like his friend. So we had to do it. And then, of course, Sam Wilson, because, of course, yes, Black History Month. Of course, I'm hype for the movie next week. Make sure you guys check out me and Prashaun's content. We got something coming for you guys next week. And, of course, it is a new season. I was looking to do other things with it. But of course, I was happy enough to be able to get a chance to do it. Now, you two guys also were able to do spotlight videos. Of course, we had the Activate, right? First time Activate video was from Prashaun with the symbiote Spider-Man. And of course, Blink, which was a very unique card and still a great card right now, as you guys can see, especially in the Hella decks. Our friend over here killed that video, This Gets Gaming. So, Prashaun, I'll start with you. How do you feel, given the time, because they don't give us a lot of time with these cards, to be honest with you guys. Yeah. And it's an Activate card, so it's a whole different ball game. And then you have to make content on top of that, get it approved, then it's uploaded, right? So it's a long process, guys. So don't think you see like, no, it's a long process. We don't have that much time with it. And it's fun though, right? It's challenging. But the Activate mechanic on Symbiote Spider-Man, tell us, how your experience was.
Yeah, I knew a lot of stuff will be banned before I made my video.
Yeah, of course.
So, especially the short amount of time. I think I have like 2 or 3 days to make it. Yeah. So I didn't want anything to go wrong. So like I didn't wear a hat. Like my background, I asked for the background for the season. That
makes
way,
sense.
everything will be approved. I think my shirt, I didn't have anything on my shirt, or I had like Spider-Man on my shirt. I didn't even see Spider-Man on my shirt. So it's a very unique experience because more eyes are going to be on this video. Like for instance, this one had like 10K. So like there's more eyes on it. There's more people commenting, probably complaining about the game the whole time. So you have to make sure you're on your A game and you try to make the best product as possible because you're technically representing Marvel Snap and you're representing yourself because there's probably folks that have no clue who you are. They only know 3 or 4 content creators. So it's awesome to have a spotlight on the card, but also a spotlight on yourself, which I think is pretty cool and unique. And having an activate card was pretty cool too, but like full disclaimer, like we're playing against bots. So it's So me making a normal Marvel Snap video, it probably takes me like 30 minutes to do gameplay. I could probably play like 4 games in a row, win all 4 games, hit the combos I wanted to hit, get every card I want to get, have the opponent do what I want to do. But with a bot, it's totally different. They might leave like as soon as you snap. So I try not to snap at all. But like certain moves you made, they would just retreat. So it's like crap. So it takes like 2 or 3 hours sometimes just to get those few games that you think will be great and compelling. And that way you don't get murdered in the comments for playing against bots.
I agree. Full disclosure too, the 3 matches you guys are going to see, I redid like the night before I submitted. It was the worst because the 3 videos I did have was perfect. Everything played the way I wanted. Everything I wanted to do happened. But I did not realize I had the volume of the game on the highest setting. So the shield coming in like made so much noise in my ears. I said, okay, I can't just submit this. And I can't turn the volume down because my mic is in the same audio track. So if I turn it down, you're not going to hear me. You couldn't hear me anyway.
Rookie.
But I was just like, oh my gosh, fine. It's super late now. Let me record these other 3 videos. It took me forever to get what I wanted with the bot. Same thing. I'll snap, the bot leaves. I'm like, okay, I guess I can't snap now. Like it was just so difficult. So I totally understand what you mean by that. And yeah, if you guys get a chance to do this, make sure you check all your settings and everything else because you're gonna get it one shot. Make sure you press.
There's a time like I thought I had good games, and then I was like, crap, I didn't.
You press record.
Oh yeah.
Telling you guys, it's crazy. It's easier to stream. It seems that way, but nonetheless, guess Blink, great card. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed the spotlight video. I know you put a lot of work into it as well.
Yeah.
How was your experience with that?
So I mean, it's a different experience than any other thing you do in content creation. When you're making a video specifically for, in this case, you're making it for a client. You're making it for Marvel Snap. You're a third party editor is how you have to look at it. And you have to go by Marvel standards, which means certain things can and cannot happen. You can or cannot have certain logos or certain representations or phrasings or like, I remember when I was doing I did the Deadpool Diner video, and I had in the very beginning of, it was the Blink video. In the very beginning of the Blink video of that season, I took a clip of Blink, like as a part of the intro from that like animation that they did, because they always do those animations before the season announcements, right? I took that intro and I used it as the intro for mine, but the original version of it, I put my It's Guess Gaming logo in her eye of the animation. So that way, when she zoomed into the screen, the It's Guess Gaming logo zoomed into the screen. And that's how I introduced myself, as a boom, there it is. And because it was me editing a Marvel product from its original, artistry, they said, you can keep the intro, but you have to get rid of the logo. It can't be on there. And that was me being introduced. That was the first video I had ever done for Marvel. And that first video took my entire weekend because, like you guys said, we sometimes, you'll get the information 2 to 3 days before. Hey, you're going to do this video. Here's the access to the limited server. Go. And then it's a panic to record all the stuff you want to, the way that you want to record it, yet alone edit it and get it produced. And then it has to go to Marvel for approvals. If there needs to be revisions, you know, there's so much that comes from that one specific, you know, video that you guys see where the gameplay is comparatively the easiest part. It's making sure you tick all the boxes. That's the hard part. More than anything else is making sure that you do it in a way that Marvel's going to say that's okay. That represents Marvel appropriately at a minimum. It doesn't misrepresent something about Marvel, which I think is more of the bigger concern for Marvel. But it's a very different process. It's a great process. It is professionally stressful because you want to, you know, it's a
certain way.
Yeah. Like I remember that Blink video took more effort and time than I had ever put into any video ever. That first video ever that I did for them. And it's one of the reasons I think I've honestly stopped making YouTube content, because when I make the stuff for Marvel, you know, I did the Deadpool Diner win, I did the dev announcement, which was amazing. I put so much into those, like that's my standard. But for other people, I don't hold myself to that standard when I make my own videos anymore. So I stopped making YouTube videos altogether because I'd rather put that into live streaming and put that into the, you know, effects and the sax parties and all of these other things that, you know, we do on the live streams. Making those videos is so much fun because you have the test server and you can see the cards, the cool stuff, but like it is stressful at times.
I guess it's being real, guys. He's not lying. Yeah. But it is definitely an honor and a pleasure to be able to do that. And I wish we can all do that more, right? I wish we, instead of being just one person, I wish they had a group of people that can test out these things and cards days before they come out. I think that would be ideal for the second dinner team, because this way more eyes are on something. They can say something is wrong before it actually rolls out to the masses. And yes, you can always say, okay, you 20 people have access, but only, you know, you all can make content, but we're going to spotlight this person, right? That person's going to do the spotlight video, you know, when the get card comes out, then we're able to push our content. I think that'd be awesome, right? I think that'd be something cool that they probably could look to in the future where we have access to be able to do that. But nonetheless, always an honor and a pleasure to do it. Always a great time. And yes, okay, I'll stop. No more spotlight videos for tech until the next person that comes
next
up.
Next February?
Yes. Next February, or maybe June, Juneteenth, right? June, whatever.
Could be June. Could be June.
We'll figure it out. Nonetheless, guys, really enjoyed it. I appreciate everything you guys had to say today. Is there anything else you want to say before we head out? Prashaun, guess.
I don't know if anyone will ask me what comic books I'm reading right now, because I'm pretty sure that happens sometimes. Ultimate Spider-Man, Uncanny X-Men, Absolute Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. So, yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Before we go on that, Mark, have you seen the Fantastic Four trailer?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Of course. I've watched it. Podcast about it. Like, yes.
Okay. I'm excited. I want more, but I'm excited. I did see some Easter eggs in there. I'm not going to dive too much into it on this call, but I am excited, and I hope we get more. And I hope we do see another trailer or even more when we go see Brave New World. But how you guys overall take about it right now before we go? You guys are hyped? You like it? Didn't like it?
It looks great. Awesome. Yeah, looks great.
The retro, futuristic, like Technicolor-ish, like graded, like film, it's great.
Yeah, it's giving me Wanda vibes. So
well, it's the same director.
Yo, makes sense now. Thank you for that.
There you go.
Didn't know that. See, didn't know that.
It's the same director, like. And it's in its own separate universe, so you don't have to worry about the cause and effects of like the normal 616. Like this is its own well-contained world where they can do what they do,
whatever they want. That's fair. Yeah. But is it really though? Based on what I saw, based on Easter eggs that I saw. I mean, I'm not going. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Of course, make sure you guys come back and check us out next week. Make sure you guys go check out Prashaun content. Of course, the Master of Morning Sacks. And myself, STG. Until next time, peace. Fantastic, guys.
Cut.
Fantastic.
Cut the check. We got to say cut the check, right?